field, 11% from three. 11, you guys. They were 2 for 18 from three, but they shot 40 free throws. Now, I know that there is going to be so many fans that are like, look at the free throw discrepancy. The Indiana Fever shot 15 free throws. The Liberty shot 40. I'm going to tell you guys this off the rip. I'm tired of hearing those excuses during certain games, and especially a game against New York Liberty. You are in New York, you are playing against Breanna Stewart, one of the best players in the league. She has a great whistle, and she knows how to manipulate her body. She knows how to get to the bucket. She knows how to draw fouls. I'm not even going to say foul bait or flop, because Stewie doesn't even do that. She really does.
A 12-point lead slipped away in a rapid swing that left Indiana struggling to regain control late in the game. Against the New York Liberty, defensive breakdowns and inconsistent adjustments contributed to a shift in momentum as the opposition capitalized on open looks and transition opportunities. What had been a comfortable advantage gradually turned into a tense and chaotic sequence, with the bench reacting as the game tightened. Fans in the arena could feel the energy change as the lead disappeared, replaced by uncertainty about how to respond in the closing stretch. While the loss highlighted execution issues on both ends of the floor, it also added to ongoing discussions about in-game adjustments, lineup stability, and how the team can better manage momentum when facing high-powered opponents.
And she knows how to manipulate her body. She knows how to get to the bucket. She knows how to draw fouls. I'm not even going to say foul bait or flop, because Stewie doesn't even do that. She really doesn't. She has a good whistle. You have to be disciplined on defense. And there were so many times in this game where I felt like, specifically on Breanna Stewart, the Fever weren't disciplined. You can't run with her and jump with her and throw your body into her and think that they're not going to call that. You can't reach in. Like, there was an instance when Breanna Stewart went to the basket. She threw up a shot. She got her own rebound, again, over like 4 Fever players. She got her own rebound, was fumbling it in the paint, and there are 4 Fever players that go on her.
The Indiana Fever controlled much of the game through the first 3 quarters, building a double-digit lead, while the New York Liberty struggled to find their rhythm offensively, including a cold start from beyond the arc. For a long stretch, Indiana appeared to be in position to close out what looked like a strong statement win. However, the momentum shifted as the game progressed, with New York gradually improving its execution, generating better looks, and cutting into the deficit. As the pressure increased, Indiana found it harder to maintain the same level of efficiency on both ends of the floor, and the lead eventually slipped away. The result turned what once looked like a comfortable advantage into a tightly contested finish, highlighting how quickly momentum can change in high-level matchups and how important late-game execution becomes in sealing wins.
The discourse around this Fever team has gotten so insane. Like, it's very hard for me to even look on any social media platforms anymore, because it's just gotten to be a little bit too much. I think the people, or who to blame for this loss, is the Fever. They had a 12-point lead at one point in the game. They had a 12-point lead for much of the game. They had a 10-point lead. Like, they were up, they were cooking. You have the Liberty shooting so bad from 3, from the field. You can't bail them out. When they are shooting that bad from the field, you can't bail them out. That comes with being disciplined on defense, and we've heard the Fever talk.
A major talking point from the game was the significant free throw disparity, with New York attempting far more shots from the line than Indiana. The difference sparked debate among fans and analysts about defensive positioning, physicality, and how each team approached contact in the paint. Against aggressive scorers like Breanna Stewart, New York consistently generated trips to the free throw line by attacking downhill and forcing closeouts, putting pressure on Indiana's rotations. From a defensive standpoint, the Fever's tendency to reach or contest late in sequences contributed to several foul calls that extended possessions for the Liberty. While reactions online varied widely, the statistical gap ultimately reflected differences in discipline, shot quality allowed, and how each team handled high-pressure defensive situations throughout the game.
Then this is kind of crazy if you look at the plus-minus tonight, because if you look at the starters, Mo Billings was at 0 tonight on the plus-minus. Aaliyah Boston was a -14. Kelsey Mitchell was a -8. Lexi was a +5, and Caitlin was a +3. But like, having Aaliyah Boston at a -14 and Kelsey at a -8. Now, Kelsey Mitchell ended the night with 21 points, but it was not a great game for Kelsey Mitchell. This is one of those games where if you look at the box score, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, like, you'd be like, that looks like a pretty solid game. And I will give it up to Kelsey Mitchell, because She normally does not rebound like that. She is averaging less than 1 rebound a game. And
one sequence that drew attention featured an unusual defensive breakdown in the paint involving multiple Indiana defenders and Breanna Stewart. After a contested possession near the rim, Stewart's rebound momentarily became loose in traffic with several Fever players around the play. Instead of securing the ball cleanly or forcing a reset, the situation escalated into a scramble that resulted in a foul being called and additional free points for New York. Earlier in the game, Kelsey Mitchell also contributed on the glass in a way that stood out compared to her typical rebounding numbers, while Aaliyah Boston, usually a key interior presence, was involved in a high-pressure defensive sequence that ended with contact being whistled in the paint. Overall, the possession highlighted Indiana's struggles with composure and execution in tight interior situations, where small mistakes quickly turned into momentum swings for the opposition.
You can't do that. You know what I mean? You can't do that. And I think mentality-wise, I don't know if she's still struggling with her confidence a little bit, because this isn't the best that we can get from Caitlin. And I think that we all know that. We're watching her on the court, and some shots that she's kind of passing up, or layups that she's missing, which, by the way, the entire team blew so many layups tonight. Like, it was wild, especially in the fourth quarter, blowing layups. The Liberty blew a lot of layups too, but they were making layups when they counted, and that was down the stretch. The Fever were not. The Fever missed so many layups in the fourth quarter. That was really rough to see. But for Caitlin, I'm just wondering where that confidence.
Caitlin Clark's night swung dramatically as foul trouble became a major factor in the closing stages of the game. With 5 fouls and several minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, she was taken out of the lineup as the coaching staff adjusted rotations to avoid a potential disqualification. Earlier in the game, she had picked up fouls in late-clock defensive situations while trying to contest or disrupt plays under pressure. Those moments reflected the intensity of her defensive effort, but also the risk that came with being overly aggressive in tight sequences. As a result, Indiana was forced to manage the final stretch without one of its primary playmakers on the floor, shifting the flow of the game and adding another layer of difficulty in a high-pressure finish.
I want to address this really quick. There's a ton of conspiracies right now. You call them conspiracies, theories, whatever you want. There's a lot of discourse right now around Caitlin and sabotage and this and that. And guys, I really think we all need to calm down. Like, really need to take a breath and take a step back. The biggest reason being, Caitlin Clark has come out multiple times and told us, media, fans, everyone, that she is happy. She is happy. She loves the coaching staff. She feels healthy. That's another thing. She says she feels great. Says she feels healthy, because I feel like
recent discussion around Caitlin Clark's performance has focused on changes in her offensive decision-making during key stretches of the game. In the fourth quarter of Indiana's recent struggles, there were several possessions where shots at the rim were missed or opportunities developed into more cautious reads, leading to passes instead of attempts in traffic. Supporters and analysts have noted that defensive pressure from New York played a role in forcing quicker decisions and altering the rhythm of the Fever's offense as a whole. During the late-game sequence, Indiana also missed a handful of close-range looks that could have helped stabilize momentum and reduce the deficit. As a result, attention has turned to how the team is managing late-game execution and whether offensive flow and shot selection can be improved in high-pressure situations to better capitalize on scoring opportunities.
I also think that a lot of people aren't really realizing Caitlin Clark has so much power in this league. She has so much power, multi-millionaire. She's the face of this league. She's a superstar in this league. If she's really unhappy, she can do something about that. Like, she personally can do something about that. And so that's why I also don't understand this kind of mindset that she's like stuck, or she just can't do anything, or she's stuck and she's so unhappy, when she's come out multiple times and said, I'm happy. I love my coaches. I love my team. I want to stay. Like, she has come out multiple times and said that. So I don't understand.
The conversation around the Indiana Fever has become increasingly intense online, with fan speculation spreading quickly in response to uneven on-court results. In recent weeks, social media discussions have included a wide range of theories about team direction, coaching decisions, and roster stability, even extending to unverified trade rumors. While there is no confirmed evidence supporting these claims, the volume of speculation reflects growing frustration among portions of the fan base when expectations do not align with outcomes. Analysts often note that such narratives tend to emerge during periods of inconsistency, when teams are still trying to establish rhythm, roles, and identity over the course of a season. As the discourse continues, much of the focus remains on how the Fever can stabilize performance and translate their talent into more consistent results on the court.
And this is what I talked about in a previous episode about who is the leader on this team, like who is their clutch player, who do they turn to when things start going south, like who do they turn to when things start getting chaotic. We saw that tonight. I don't know who they were turning to because I didn't see them turn to anyone. So like, who's going to take those clutch shots? You had Caitlin in 2024 was the one taking those clutch shots. Now she's giving it up, and Kelsey Mitchell is the one initiating the offense. Like, she was the one who took all of the shots down the stretch when we're talking about isolation shots. Even that three at the end, shout out to Aaliyah Boston, like she hit that three, but I'm just wondering why Caitlin didn't.
Much of the recent conversation around the Indiana Fever has focused on expectations, leadership, and how the team is evaluating performance beyond the traditional box score. Caitlin Clark's presence has brought significant attention to the franchise, and with that comes increased scrutiny of how lineups function both with and without her on the floor. In the most recent game, plus-minus figures have been widely discussed, with Aaliyah Boston finishing at -14 and Kelsey Mitchell at -8, while Clark ended at +3 despite limited minutes due to foul trouble. While plus-minus is only one measure and can be heavily influenced by lineup combinations and game context, it has contributed to broader debate about on-court chemistry and effectiveness. At the same time, Clark has publicly expressed support for her teammates and coaching staff, reinforcing a commitment to building continuity within the group. As the season develops, the central challenge for Indiana remains finding consistent balance between production, rotations, and maximizing the impact of its key players across all phases of the game. Adjusting rotations and late-game roles without disrupting team chemistry is one of the toughest challenges for any coaching staff,